Good morning, beloveds. It is June 24th, and our title is The Waiting Game. The first quote is, My brethren, count it as joy when ye fall into divers temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. James 1, 2, and 3. The second quote is, I will listen for thy voice in her presence. It will guide me and acquaint me with all knowledge. And that is the Science of Mind, 538. We are an impatient people living in an impatient world, and often we make all sorts of excuses for our impatience. We declare that since everyone else is on the run, we should be too, or someone might get ahead of us. Indeed, for some people, patience is not a trait to be cultivated. Ambrose Bierce, for example, called it a minor form of despair disguised as a virtue. But to others, it does have value. Dr. M. Scott Peck, in his book The Road Less Traveled, said, I, and anyone else who is not mentally defective, can solve any problem if we are willing to take the time. And the man who wrote Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, Robert M. Prissig, agrees. He claims that if we sit for half an hour and look at an ailing motorcycle, it will give up its secrets. Of course, this approach assumes at least a little familiarity with motorcycles. The point is that we are often just too impatient to take the time a project requires. We call in someone to fix our problems, or we send it out to be fixed. And when we ourselves approach problems in a hurry up and get it done frame of mind, the answer isn't usually in any rush to appear. Here is an interesting experiment to try. Sit with your problem, whatever it may be, and allow its essence to fill your awareness. Simply be with the problem for a period of time. If it doesn't yield its solution shortly, return to it later, after your inner awareness has a chance to tune into the divine mind. You might be surprised. Recognizing that I am one with all things and all ideas, I am willing to devote the patience necessary to allow a solution to unfold before me. Well, the waiting game. Oh, the funny thing is that I say, one of my quotes is, patience is a virtue. It's not one of mine. So, all right. I'm trying to figure out who AD is. Adele Rogers, no, AD. Huh. It's one of those patience things. I don't know who AD is. Okay, well, it's AD. We'll return to that later. Patience is a virtue, and I joke that it's not one of mine. I've also heard recently, and recently could be anywhere in the last year, or two technically, because last year, 2020 didn't happen, that patience is what we do while we are waiting for things to happen. And so, if we're sitting here, jiggling our leg and fuming, then that's not being patient. But if we're waiting for things to happen, like I was sitting in a doctor's office yesterday, and they want you to show up 15 to 30 minutes early, and then your appointment time comes and goes, and you're still sitting in the waiting room even when you showed up on time, meaning you showed up early. And so you're sitting there, and so how patient are you? Well, here's the good news. I travel with book everywhere I go. So I can be extraordinarily patient in situations like that because I'm doing something else. So patience isn't necessarily about sitting and waiting for things to happen. Patience is your mindset of you're waiting for something to happen, but you are still continuing to work on other things. And the advice that AD gives us is very good about sitting with a problem. Because sometimes what you need to do is just, sit down, think about it, study the problem. And sometimes what you need to do is literally go sleep on it. I have had many a problem where I have worked on it, made myself frustrated, and then I'm like, done. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna handle this tomorrow. And I set it aside and I go do whatever else it is that I need to do. I will go and take a nap or literally go to bed. And oftentimes in that situation, I will wake up with whatever it is. If it's not the solution, at least it's the start of a solution. And sometimes when we are working on things and we don't know what we're doing, then going and doing the spiritual practice of meditation where we open ourselves up to that inner presence, to that inner guidance. And then we will see things that we didn't see before because we were in a rush. Now, there is also, because AD made the comment about pushing our problems off on other people. That's not necessarily all that it is. Sometimes it is literally we do not have the experience or the expertise to handle the situation. So it does behoove us to hand our problems off to somebody else. But it is about making sure that we check to make sure that
surprise,
that whatever it is, we've done all that we can do, and then we can go ask for help. Or if after sitting with it for a minute, because honestly, if you sit me in front of a motorcycle, I can stare at it all day. That's not going to fix the motorcycle. So I can sit there, look at the motorcycle and go, I do not have the experience necessary for this. I do not have the expertise necessary for this, but I know someone who does. Which goes back to what my friend Lilia likes to say when we don't know what to do. It's like, I may not know the answer, but I know something that does. And sometimes she's talking about Google, and sometimes she's talking about God. Depends on the situation. So, the waiting game. And you know what? I don't know what to do with that first quote from James. I really don't. Because it's like, my brethren, count it all to joy when ye fall into divers temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. I don't know. So what I would suggest is, 1, go look it up in something with the language is a little bit better. And 2, read a little bit before, read a little bit about after, because that doesn't make sense to me. I don't even know what to do with that quote. But the Science of Mind quote from page 538, sorry. I'm a little dyslexic sometimes. I will listen for thy voice, inner presence. It will guide me and acquaint me with all knowledge. Okay, so we are an impatient people living in an impatient world. And that is true. That is very true. Patience is a virtue. It is not one of mine, but I am getting better. Mostly because I've learned how patience works. And it's not sitting quietly waiting for things to happen. It's getting on and doing other things while you are waiting for things to happen. And doing it in a good mindset, knowing that what you're waiting for is going to happen. Okay, and often we make all sorts of excuses for our impatience. We declare that since everybody else is on the run, we should be too, or someone might get ahead of us. Are we running a race? Most of the time, no. Most of the time, no. Although I do miss racing. I do miss the running in the races. Now, to be honest, when I was running in the races, I was running in the races for the fun of it, not because I wanted to win, because I knew that was not possible. I am nowhere near that fast. I was running for the fun of it. So, sometimes when we race, we're doing it just for the heck of it. And that is okay. Indeed, for some people, patience is not a trait to be cultivated. Ambrose Pierce, for example, called it a minor form of despair disguised as a virtue. Okay, I'm just going to let that one lie. But to others, it does have value. Dr. M. Scott Peck, in his book, The Road Less Traveled, says, I and anyone else who is not mentally defective can solve any problem if we are willing to take the time. That is true. Because sometimes after we take the time, we realize maybe this isn't my problem to solve. And that's one of the things that you have to look at when you're dealing with patience is, you ask yourself, what is this mine to do? Because sometimes the problem that you are trying to solve is not yours to solve. Okay? So here you're all being patient and virtuous and trying to fix something. It ain't your problem to fix. And the man who wrote Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, that Robert M. Pirsig, agrees. He claimed that if we sit for half an hour and look at an ailing motorcycle, it will give up its secrets. Of course, this approach assumes at least a little familiarity with motorcycles. And that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes we sit there and we look at problems and we do not have the experience and we do not have the familiarity and we do not have the expertise to deal with them. At which point, then we sit there and we look at it for a minute and we go, yeah, this is not my problem to solve. But what is my problem is to find somebody who can. So, the point is that we are often just too impatient to take the time a project requires. And I am definitely firmly in the school of I'm going to do it right rather than fast. Sometimes I can do it right and fast. And sometimes I can do it right, but not fast. There's the joke. You pick 3. Fast, good, cheap. So, and you can't do all 3. I can either do it fast and cheap and it won't be good. I can do it fast and good, but it's going to be expensive. Or, what is it? You can do it cheap and good, but that's probably going to take time. I don't know. I forget what the third one is, but that being the point is like, take the time you need to do the job right. And if you cannot do it in the time frame that somebody else wants it to do, that's not necessarily your problem. That may be their problem. All right? Let's see. When we call in someone to fix our problems, or we send it out to be fixed. Now, I think the operative word in there is we call in someone to fix our problems. We call in people to fix problems when they are our problems to fix, and we try and bypass it by getting somebody else to do it faster. Yeah. I think that's what he's talking about there. Because there are, we don't have to handle everything by ourselves. That's what other people are for. They are, we pay people to do things for us all the time. We pay people to fix problems that we do not have the time, the experience, or the knowledge to do. So, yeah. All right. When we ourselves approach problems in a hurry up and get it done frame of mind, the answer isn't usually any rush to appear. Because when we're in a hurry, we miss important bits of information from the problem. Here's an interesting experiment to try. Sit with your problem, whatever it may be, and allow its essence to fill your awareness. It reminds me of what Jesse says when you're dealing with a strong emotion. Sit with your emotion. Listen to what it has to tell you, and then it will probably get up and leave on its own. Simply be with the problem for a period of time. If it doesn't yield its solution shortly, return to it later after your inner awareness has a chance to tune into the divine mind. You might be surprised. And that is the point of spiritual practice. Tune into the divine mind. Everything you need, including the fact that it may not be your problem to fix, is in the divine mind. So, recognizing that I am one with all things and all ideas, I am willing to devote the patience necessary to allow the solutions to unfold before me. And that is an excellent little treatment or affirmation when you are dealing with a situation that you're not sure how you're going to handle. So, all right. I thought I would take one last run at who AD is. And still not listed. I don't know who AD is. That's weird. Okay. So I don't know who wrote that one. Okay. Doesn't matter. What is the mission today? The mission today, should we choose to expect, I'm trying to say expect. Accept. The mission today, should we choose to accept it, is that sit with the problem for a period of time and tune into the divine mind. That is the mission. That is always the mission. It is always the mission to tune into the divine mind. Give yourself the time and space to really look at what it is. And like I said, remember that patience isn't about sitting around and waiting for things to happen. Patience is about what you do while you are waiting, what your frame of mind is while you are waiting for other things to happen. Go do something else. All right. There it is. That is it. The other thing is the usual one of do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. Whatever it looks like does not matter. Big, small. That's not the point. The point is to practice on yourself every day, to practice love, kindness, and compassion. 1, you deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. 2, by practicing, you're creating a bank of. So that when you meet people who need a little extra, you've got plenty. So take that deep breath before you speak. Take a nap. Take a walk. Sit with a problem. And let the divine mind in. So, as always, I encourage you to do something to engage your mind and your body. I encourage you to drink a whole lot of water. It looks like we are going to get a little bit of break in these 100-degree temperatures next week, but we got to get through the weekend. So drink plenty of water. And then get that early in your day light. Reset those hormones. It'll help with your energy and your ability to sleep. And open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around you all the time. It is a state of mind, a state of consciousness. It is not a place. And that, the cool thing about that is it means any place can become heaven. So take Emma's advice, look for the good and praise it. Okay, so catch us on the social medias. If you want to know what's going on, because right now I'm kind of lost. Email info@creativelife.org, that constant contact. He gets that thing out basically, I think it goes out really early Friday morning. So it's in your inbox. And if you don't see it and you've signed up, check your spam filter. And catch us on the social medias. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark, and I am the running Rev Ryan. If there's anything else, so have a great day, an amazing day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanting day, or an enchanted day, a patient day, a get things done day, a go do other things day while you are waiting on something, a playing the waiting game day, a relax into it day, maybe. A good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day, because you are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased and well represented always. All right, beloveds. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you at 9 a.m. tomorrow, although tomorrow is Saturday. And it looks like it's shaping up to be a busy Saturday for me, but that's what it is. So, but I'll still be on around 9 a.m. All right. Take care of yourself. Know that you're loved, and I will see you next time.